Hi guys, and welcome to another Stealing Licks. My name's David from DG Sessions, and today we're going to look at something from Eddie Van Halen in his tune called Jump. Let's take a listen to the lick, and then I'll show you how it goes. Here's the lick on its own. Jump! So you can hear straight away this isn't one of Eddie's signature tapping licks, although we might be looking at some of those later on in the series. Today we're going to look at one of his quick-fire blues licks. My idea here is that some of you blues players might get something a little bit flashy to add to your lick bags. So here's the lick. I'm going to play it fast once, then I'm going to play it slowly, then I'm going to talk it through and see how it goes. Here's the lick on its own. And here it is slow. Alright, now let's get some tab on the screen so we can hear and see exactly what's happening with it. Now you'll notice that I've written it out twice here, once in the key of B flat minor, which is the original key from the track, and again in D minor. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I've also written out the B flat blues scale. This is the scale that this lick is mostly based around, and I definitely recommend getting familiar with the blues scale if you're going to be using this lick. Because it means that you're going to get a lot more mileage out of it if you can change keys while you're playing this lick, which is why I've written it out in D minor. By playing the B flat blues scale, you're much more likely to be familiar with the fingering patterns we're going to be using here as well. So I definitely recommend checking that out. There's plenty of YouTube videos covering that topic. But for now, let's take a look at how to play this particular lick. We're going to start with an 18 on the high E string, and we're just going to slide that right out. So all you're going to do is hit that note as hard as you can and slide right out. This is an idea that gets used an awful lot by B.B. King, and that's almost certainly where Eddie got the idea from. This kind of... those kind of bluesy phrases. B.B. King all over it, and Eddie certainly wasn't a stranger to stealing some of these licks himself. One of the reasons that I like doing this series, actually. So we're going to start with that 18th fret, slide it out, and then we're going to do a rake across the G and B strings, which is what those crosses mean. Just means that you're not going to be fretting any notes, you're going to be muting them up here with your left hand, and not hitting any notes, just muted strings, and then hit a 6 on the high E string. That's what we're after. You want to try and sweep across to add emphasis to that 6. You don't want to hear 3 separate notes. You don't want this. You want just sweep across all in one smooth motion. Once you've got that, you're going to hit the 9 on the B and bend that up to exactly the same note, that 6th fret on the E. So that's the phrase there. So this opening phrase in its whole entirety, that's what we've got. Now begins the flurry that Eddie plays. So we're going to start off with the 6 on the high E string, and we're going to hit the 6 on the B and do a hammer onto the 9 and pull off. So we've got this. So 6 on the high E, then down to the B, 6, 9, 6. Practice getting that smooth, getting it nice and flowing. Smoother the better for this. Whenever you're trying to play a flurry or a fast lick, focus on getting it smooth to begin with, and once you can play it smoothly, speed comes a lot easier later on. So once we've done that, we're going to hit the 9 on the G. So 6 on the high E, 6, 9, 6 on the B, 9 on the G. Then this is where I'm going to break away from what Eddie does, probably. I'm going to recommend using your middle finger on your picking hand in order to pluck that 6 on the high E again. The reason I suggest doing that is if you use your pick to try and do that, you're on the 9 on the G already. What you need to do is you need to hop over the B in order to hit that 6 on the high E, and then hop back in a second in order to get back to the G. Now, the more you use your pick and the more hopping you do, you're going to increase the chances that you're going to hit that B string accidentally. So what I tend to do is I'll hit that 9 on the G, use my middle finger to hit the 6 on the high E, just to pluck it as you normally would with any kind of plucking if you've not got a pick. Just hook your finger underneath and pull up. And that lets you leave your pick close to the G, which you're going to be going back to now. So here's that phrase again. Again, focusing on the smoothness, focusing on keeping it flowing. 6, 6, 9, 6, 9 on the G, pluck that high E string 6. Now we're in the end part of this little flurry. We're going to hit the 9 on the G, slide into the 8, pull off to the 6, hammer onto the 8 again. So there's like nice little bluesy phrase just on its own, but we're going to carry it on by hitting a 6 on the B and then finish it with a 6 on the G. So here's that phrase slowly. One more time, so 9 on the G, slide into the 8, pull off to the 6, hammer onto the 8, 6 on the B, 6 on the G. Alright, and that finishes off the lick. Here's the whole flurry on its own, slowly. And then quickly. The whole lick, slowly. And quickly. Alright, so you'll also notice that I've written out the lick in the key of D minor as well as in the key of B flat minor. Now it's exactly the same. All we're doing is we're going to be getting used to moving these licks into different keys. So get comfortable, as I was saying earlier on, playing that B flat blues scale, and being comfortable playing that in various different keys, maybe A blues, or in this case we're going to look at D minor. So it'll be the blues position up on the 10th fret. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and play exactly the same lick. I'll bring the tab back and move myself out of the way so that we can see the lick written out in the key of D minor this time. So we've got this 22nd fret up at the top instead of the 18, exactly the same thing, hit the 22nd fret and then slide all the way out. So, and then we're going to play exactly the same flurry, just starting on the 10th fret instead of the 6th fret. So the technique is exactly the same, the fingering is exactly the same. All you're doing is you're starting and finishing on different notes. So now you might be wondering, why am I going to want to be able to play this in the key of D minor? Eddie played it in the key of B flat, that's what I'm going to do. But whenever we play a blues, you must be familiar with this idea of blues progressions moving into different keys, playing songs in different keys for different singers. The amount of times I've had people tell me, oh, okay, this song's a blues in A, this is a blues in D, it's a blues in E, it's a blues in B flat. All these different things. The more familiar you are with moving things around into different keys, the better you're going to be at playing these licks and incorporating these licks into your own playing. So play around with this. Get used to playing these phrases in different keys, moving them around the fretboard. You know, I played it up there at D. Here it is in the key of A. You know, wherever I am on the fretboard. Say I want it in G. You know, I'm happy moving it around the fretboard. Just, you know, letting my fingers take over. Use the muscle memory that you're going to have from learning it in the original key. Hopefully that's going to be something fun for you to play around with. And I'll catch you next time. All the best.